Howdy guys, today I'd like to talk about how to field strip and then disassemble the bolt on a Winchester 1300. It's skeet season for my 4-H kids. We shoot what they call 5-stand for 4-H, and they've been wearing out my 1300. So I figured I'd give it a good cleaning, which I've already done, but that's what gave me the idea to do the video. It's pretty simple to tear apart a 1300, but you got to do it in the right order, or you can lose some parts, and once you lose parts, you're buying parts, and that's not a good thing. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the magazine, and this one's got an extended chamber. This is also my law enforcement model, whatever you want to call it, home protection, whatever gun. It's also a good bird gun. You take out your magazine lock nut. This would be much smaller on some other ones, and your spring. From there, all we're going to simply do, and if you don't know how to do this, this might be a little below or over your head, pull the barrel off. If you don't know how to get the barrel off your shotgun, you probably shouldn't be even thinking about taking the bolt apart. Okay, from there, what we're going to do is roll your action forward. The reason why I do it back, there's one reason, and that's because the whole mechanism needs to be cocked. If you pull it back before you take the barrel off, it will absolutely cock, and you won't cause yourself another problem, which we'll get into later. You got one pin, which is right here, right there. That is the pin you're going to knock out to pull the trigger group out. You can do it with a punch, pair of needle nose pliers, small screwdriver. It is important, however. Alright, it's your ejection port. This is your actual bolt carrier here. You want to do it from the non-bolt carrier side down. I actually don't know if that is truly super important. Just the way I was taught by a gunsmith. Alright, you're going to punch that pin down a little bit, flip it over, get hold of the pin if you need to, grab your pair of pliers, pull that pin out. Set that somewhere where you're not going to lose it. From there, all you're going to do is pick up and rotate forward a little bit on your trigger group, and it'll slide out. Set that to the side. Now, to get our bolt carrier out, I actually seen a video not too long ago of a guy that, wow, it's dirty back here, had this big, elaborate, pull this back, pull these guide rails out, you need a screwdriver to do this, and you can do it that way. Let me show you the easy way. Now this is extremely complicated, so pay attention. Pull, and it all comes out. There you go. Now we have a completely disassembled upper receiver, I guess you want to call it receiver. You can go through, clean that all up, get all the mar and all that out of it. Set that to the side for now. There's your pump with your connecting arms. Again, I guess that's what you call them. Wow, that's dirty too. I didn't do a real good job cleaning this. There's no real reason to take them arms off unless you've broken them, and then there's a tube in there, and they kind of clamp on. You'll be able to see how it works if you have any mechanical ability whatsoever. Now we're going to talk about the bolt. First thing, there's a lot of parts in here under a lot of spring pressure, so listen to what I tell you before you jump on it. It's not hard to do, but you can lose parts. Alright, first thing we got to do is get this floor plate off right here. So what we're going to do is, this is the back of your firing pin. You're going to just press it on the back of the firing pin, rotate this plate up, get it up here, up, and then pull it forward. Holding spring pressure right here. Hold that spring pressure, you lose that spring. So we're going to let all that pressure off. Out comes your firing pin and your firing pin spring. Next, if you want to get the bolt out of the bolt carrier, there is this cam bearing right here, cam lug or whatever you want to call it, that is holding a spring and a plate forward on your extractor here. Something just fell out of my foot. Yeah. wasn't actually out of the gun. It was a must knock something down with my arm. Anyway, there is a plate and a rod held in here. So here's how we're going to do this. What we're going to do is hold the bolt all the way down, okay? And from there, you've got to get this pin out. The easy way to do that, and I can't do it and show you, is I'm going to put a pair of pliers on this, or a pair of needle nose pliers on that lug right here, and I'm going to pull it out. But you want to do it with the bolt facing down. That way, everything flies down and not out. It's not hard. You just give it a couple of twists and tugs and wiggles, and boom, everything falls out. Now, off will pop your extractor, your spring here. You're springing your little metal bearing plate here. Now your bolt comes out. You can clean this. I give it a light skim coat of oil, just enough to wet my fingers, roll it on the bolt. Now when you put all this back together, and that's it, I mean, that's the extent of it. You can clean all these parts and pieces. When you put this back together, first thing, this is the ejection side of your bolt. This is where it rides on that rail inside your gun bolt, side of your bolt. It is important to get the extractor, go to the ejection side of your gun. If you put it back together backwards, amazingly enough, your gun will not work properly. Sear extractor, by the way, or ejector, I'm sorry. Extractor, I had it right the first time. Put that back in there. Now, it's kind of important here. If you are going to put this face down, you don't want to put pressure on this extractor. So if you can find something to raise it up off a little bit, that's fine. And I'm going to end up kind of coming back out of here out of view. I'm sorry about that. Well, no, I can't do that. You guys really need to see how to do this. I usually use the corner of the table, but it's not going to work real well. This is not a plug for Hornady. It's just a Hornady cleaning box. Alright, so now you're going to have to line up that hole at some point. But you're going to hold that down like so. Let that extractor lay over the lip. From here, we are going to take and put our extractor spring, this big nasty spring right here, and that washer down in there ready to be pushed down. I do that just a little baby Phillips head screwdriver. Now you can see that spring right here. You have to push that spring in that plate past that point. And as you can see with this screwdriver, too small of a point won't go far enough. Too big of a point, you can do it. Let's see if I can get it lined up. You can do it, but then you're not going to have room. If you're too high on this, I guess is the best way to put it, you won't have room to get that pin in there. The second thing you need to pay attention to, there it is. Okay, as you can see, there's a hole in here. That hole is where your firing pin runs through, like so. Inside the gun, actually, like so. Okay, now one side's longer than the other. Short side down. The long side is what'll cam. It'll run in this channel right here and cam. Okay. So, man, I can't drop that damn thing. That little bastard's tricky. Alright. Get that lined up. Obviously the washer needs to be straight up. And here's the thing, guys. If you do this, and I'm going to do it this way because I'm confident I can, I suggest you cover the hell out of it, because if you lose any of these parts, that washer is not a standard size. Go to Walmart or Lowe's and get a washer. So I really suggest you don't do this the way I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it this way for the sake of the video and hope I don't lose it. Alright, it's important that hole is lined up in line with your firing pin channel. You can turn it later, but it's a pain in the ass. So we're going to give it a little start down in there to where it's set and kind of where I want it. And now we're going to collapse this whole part and then give her a push down. And hope I got enough pressure on there. In fact, I'm going to leave that screwdriver right like so. Give that a little bit of a tap down. Nope. See that? I don't know if you guys saw it, but I felt it. Put all that spring pressure on there. I didn't have it. If you've got this vertical and you've got good downward pressure on it, this is not that big of a deal. I'm doing it this way for the sake of the video so you can kind of see how this works. Again, make sure your extract bullet from chamber. Make sure your extractor is on the magazine side, or the ejection port side. We're going to put good pressure, a little bit extra. Good pressure. Push that down in. That was close. And we're going to tap this the rest of the way down in there. Once you can't see that hole anymore, you're safe. I would still hold my thumb here. Don't worry, if it pops out, it's going to hurt like hell. Alright, now, I don't know if you'll ever be able to see this. Let me turn on my light. Maybe I can get this to work. Light. Okay, yeah. You can see this hole down in here. See how the hole's lined up now? You should be able to see daylight through that hole. Where is my light? There it is. I'm sorry for it being on top of the frame, but you should be able to see daylight when you look through that hole. If you can see daylight, you're in good shape. Alright, now we've cleaned up our firing pin. If you put your firing pin in here and it doesn't run the whole way to the front of the gun, and protrude through the front of the bolt, you've got a problem. Okay, so pull your firing pin back out, put your firing pin spring on. Sure there's no dust, grime, dirt. Put that in here. Again, spring pressure. Alright, we're going to do this without the spring pressure on it first. Okay. This is this little ring right here. Right here. The front of this plate, that little hook, has got to go in behind that. See how it goes in behind, or in front of it, I should say, right here. And when your firing pin is in here, I'm going to do this without spring pressure first so I can show you and everybody knows. Okay. You're going to need to get it in like so it catches your firing pin. It'll catch your firing pin. Now, the trick to that, as you can see, there is a lip. There is a lip here and a lip here. This plate must ride there. See how it is? That's where that plate needs to go. That holds your firing pin in. So anyway, put our spring on there, run it up in there, don't lose it. God. My hands are all slick from working on this. Alright, now hopefully you can see where I have all that pressure held down? Drop Mr. Plate here all the way down, like so. Let it slide back into place. Do that again just so you can see it. Hold it all down. All you're going to do, I've seen people make this really hard. Drop this right here. Down. And let the spring pressure pull it all back into place. Last time. Try it from a little bit different angle here. Maybe. Come on. go. Alright. Start with the bolt all the way back towards the back of your firing pin. You're going to set this right in here. Turn so you can see it. Set it in there. And let spring pressure pull the plate back in. That's all there is to that, guys. Push forward on your bolt. Make sure it rotates a little bit as it comes down, which it will because of the cam that's underneath here. Push in on your firing pin. Make sure that all works. And here's the important part. Push back on the bolt and up on the firing pin. You should see your firing pin protrude. That's what actually sets the primer off. If when you push this all down together, you can't see that firing pin, you have a problem. Stop. Disassemble it, reassemble it, or take it to, gunsmith and say, hey, I've screwed up my gun, can you put it back together for me, please? They will usually do that for a small nominal fee. Alright, so now we gotta get the bolt back in the gun. You can see here, there are channels. There, right here, and right here. It's on both sides. Right here, right here. Amazingly enough, on your bolt, there are grooves cut. Here, and here, and here. That are going to, it's just going to fall in there and ride right there. Like so. Alright. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I get kind of weird when I'm doing this stuff in the morning, so get over it. Alright. That all fell apart. We're going to put our bolt and pump, or slot, or foregrip, whatever you want to call it, back in the gun. You can go through that other guy's method and tear this all apart and reassemble it back in there, or you can just do this. See if I can get that. Slide that up in there. Line up the slots. Pump the gun. Boom, bolt inside. Alright, now put your trigger group back in, which we kind of need. What you're going to do is you're going to slide the bolt back into where it would be. That is too far, or actually that is not far enough with the bolt flush. That is too far if you can see your firing pin. It needs to just cover the black, just like so. Perfect. Alright, now there are 2 little grooves right here. These tabs here and here, these tabs go up underneath them and then push down, actually, like so. Go up underneath them and push down. I'm not going to teach you how to tear this trigger apart. You can do it with 2 pins. Actually, it's a screw and a pin. But I'm not going to teach you how to tear it apart. There's a lot of spring pressure on here. My advice to you is do not, you can get in there and clean anything you need, blow some air in it. I'm just telling you right now, if you take this apart and you don't know what you're doing, you are not going to get it back together. That is licensed gunsmith level, guys. Don't piss with it. So anyway, we're gonna get our rail started up underneath there. Let's see if I can zoom this in. Alright. Hey, wow, that works real good. Alright, we watch them slip up underneath there. See how they slipped in? Put it down. That's it. Hold it all in. Go back to the ejection port side. The pin comes out the other way and in this way. I'll barrel a little bit here. See this? Alright, now we're going to line that up like so. See how there's a little bit of steel? That's beautiful right there. It's not all the way down. All the way down is a little bit too much. So once you get it, man, you should not have to jackhammer this thing in. It should slide right in. If you wiggle up and down a little bit with your fingers as you're sliding that pin in, beautiful. Alright, now pump it. Contrary to popular belief, it won't hurt it if you pull the trigger here, so let me go back wide here. Alright. Pull trigger. Defeat safety, pull the trigger. Should fire. Pump it. Well, if you want to do a true function check, here's how you do it. Pull the trigger, hammer should fall. Bang. Cycle the action, holding back on the trigger the whole time. There, now, since I've cycled the action, I'm going to let it off. I should hear a metallic click. Just like on an M16 or a Glock or whatever. Pull the trigger, it should fire. What that metallic click you're hearing, guys, is series setting. So, after that, now let's just put the barrel on. I like to put my barrels on with the action open. I've heard a million people go, "Oh my God, you should never do that." You know what? I've tore a whole pile of shotguns apart, and I have yet to jack one up. When I do, I'll stop. Makes the barrel go in nice, snug, tight. Put our barrel in. If you don't know how to take the barrel off your shotgun, this is probably not something you should be doing. Slide our spring in there. Screw that on there. This gun holds 7 in the pipe, 1 in the chamber. Great bird gun. Not birds as in flying wing feathers birds. I mean shooting clay birds. I can tear the kids up with this one. Alright there, guys, there you go. Alright, here's the disclaimer. If you're going to hunt winged birds, use whatever your state says the maximum magazine capacity of your shotgun could be, which is usually 3 rounds in the gun. So, I'm not telling you put a 7-round tube on your gun and go hunt pigeons or ducks or flying goldfish or whatever you're hunting. Anyway, alright, there you go. That's how you take down a 1300. Actually going to clean. 4-H Club's got a bunch of 870s. I'm going to do a video on 870s here shortly. Same thing. I got one that's got a extraction problem. Actually, it's not an extraction problem, it's an ejection problem. The difference is extraction, just so you know, is extracting the spent casing from the chamber. Ejection is throwing it out of the housing of the gun. So, some people think those are the same thing, and they're not. Extractor pulls, ejector pushes. So, we've got one that's got an ejection problem, not an extraction problem. Actually, 2 brand new guns that NRA bought for us. Thank you, NRA. We appreciate all the support. And the NRA, guys, if you're not a member of the NRA, spend $50. You know, everybody claims they're going to take away my gun rights, and then nobody ever wants to join the NRA. Man, spend the money. Buy a lifetime membership. Pay 10 times. You know, I got a lifetime membership, and I give them money every year still. The day our guns are gone, everybody will be going, why didn't the NRA why didn't they do anything? Because they didn't have the funding. Because you guys, not all you, I mean there's plenty of guys out there members of the NRA, don't get me wrong, but if you're not, join the NRA. If you have any desire to see the shooting sports anywhere, join the NRA. You want to hunt, join the NRA. You want to IDPA or IPSC, join the NRA. You want to bird shoot, join the NRA. You want to hunt, you know, anything, shoot anything, just go out and target practice. The NRA is going to be what keeps. They are our barrier to protect the Second Amendment from the liberal nut jobs. And if you're a liberal nut job, you shouldn't be watching my channel. Sorry. I'm just not, you aren't going to like me, and I don't care. So, you know, and I've talked about the Second Amendment before, but the Second Amendment truly was put in the Constitution to protect the First Amendment. If you don't get that, there's nothing I can do for you. There's no amount of talk or training or anything. If you believe that guns are the root of all evil, hey, go watch my other video proving with liberal data that this country is as safe as it's ever been. Not ever, but as safe as it's been since 1960s. With twice as many people. And it's because of concealed carry permits. You can't argue it. The data is there. It's another video down. I can't remember what I called it, but I'll tell you real quick. Move the mouse over here. Pull up the videos. It's called How Well Gun Control Really Works. Watch it, because and it's a very long video. It's like 40 minutes, but watch the last 10 of it. because that's where I bring it all together. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate any thumbs up, subscribes. Gonna have to break down and do a subscriber contest here. I'm getting up over 300 subs, getting closer to 4 now. I appreciate you guys watching. If you got any questions or comments, please, I'd love to hear them. If you're not confident in taking that bolt down, guys, don't. Watch the video 2 or 3 times. Don't watch it once and then jump on it. Watch the video 2 or 3 times. I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, because now you've already lost parts. If you've watched this to the end of the first time, watch the video 2 or 3 times. Understand where the spring pressures are before. I guess I better annotate that in the beginning. Watch where the spring pressures are before you try and take that bolt apart. Because when you lose pieces, it's not that they're expensive. Springs are cheap. I mean, you can probably rebuild that whole bolt for a $20 bill. I'm gonna guess. I don't know, but it's just a pain in the ass. You gotta call up Numerich and get gun parts, or Brownells, or whoever you buy gun parts from. And you know, with most people clean their gun right before they're gonna use it. At least I do. We're gonna go shoot this afternoon, and that's why I'm out here at 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning guns. But so. Alright, questions, comments. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on an 870 here shortly, so appreciate you guys watching. Have a good day.